Hey friends, it's Carol, Saltbox Stitcher, back for video number 54. Today is October 2nd, 2021, and it's fall. It's October. Thank you for coming back. This is a video about a YouTube video about cross stitch, quilting, who knows what else. Anyway. Welcome if this is your first time, and welcome back if you've followed me before. Just make sure you like and subscribe, and you'll get notice of future videos. So, well, I'm kind of sad because we ended September. September is my favorite stitching month because I love samplers and I love reproduction samplers, and that's what I love to stitch on. So, but October's good. I fixed chili last night because for a few seconds the night before it got into the 60s. So, it's fall. Who cares if it's in the 80s today? But it's low 80s, so, and the humidity's low. So, we're getting there. By January, it will be fall here in Florida. So, anyway. So what have I been working on? Well, let's get right into stitching. I had 3 finishes during September. Now, I didn't start these during the month of September. That would be an impossible feat. But I did finish them. So there's 3 I can mark off of my WIP list. And the first one that I finished earlier in the month, and I showed you this last time, so this is rerun. And that was the 7 sheet sampler. This is by Scarlet House. I did it on 46 count autumn gold, which is a double dyed linen from Lakeside. I originally purchased the linen at the Attic, and I started it sometime in 2019. Yeah. 2019, the end of 2019. So I just finished it this month. I've shown it to you. I used the Veriswa silks, which were a little bit thick for 46 count, but beautiful coverage, beautiful coverage. So that was finish number 1. Finish number 2, I did not post this on Instagram because I couldn't get a good picture of it, sorry. So finish number 2 was Mind Independent and Free. This is by Carriage House Samplings, and it's a big long one. So again, I'll show it in halves. I didn't have very much to finish on this, and I think I finished it the day after my last video, although you saw my video on Monday. This video is going to be not near as long. I'm going to show you a few things I'm working on quilt-wise, but I'm not going to have pictures of quilts at the end because it took my husband 3 days to get that all uploaded and all that. So anyway, this is Mind Independent and Free. I'm not sure if this is a reproduction. It's definitely a sampler. So there's the first top half, and then here is the bottom half finished. I didn't have too much to do on it, so I worked on it. I think my last video I filmed on a Saturday, and I think I finished it Sunday afternoon. So I love the way the alphabets on the side go all the way up, one side starting at the bottom and the other side starting at the top as far as the ABCs. And this looks like eyelet stitches, but it's not. So for every one that looks like an eyelet stitch, it's just 4 cross stitches. No, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 cross stitches. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, which leaves the hole in the middle. So it sort of looks like eyelet stitches. I think that's a good solution. Then on, let's see, I think I finished this on Tuesday this week, which would have been, let's see, maybe the 28th. So I was just under the wire for Sampler September. So this is my third finish, and I started this one, I think in 2020. This is Mary Good by Sassafras Samplers, which is, you can get it Sassy Jack's, so it's their exclusive, Mary Good. Has the Pepto-Bismol people, and when I first started doing this, you know, I thought there was so much pink, which is fine, but I like a reproduction sampler that's a little more muted. If I was charting a sampler, and I never will, because I'm not that techie, I would probably do it from the front rather than the colors on the back that haven't faded. A lot of times, samplers are charted from the back, which is more the true color of the floss, whereas on the front, it might have sunlight damage, whatever, and it becomes more faded. Certain colors, I think, fade more than others too, because who knows what the dyes were back in the day. So here's the top half. Very good. The other nice thing about this, there was no over one, even though there's a verse, and obviously there's a lot of stitching. But what I was gonna say is, I thought it was gonna be a lot of pink, but when you add those reds and those really pretty greens, the pink does not overwhelm the sampler, even though you got the Pepto people. And this is the pattern. The other patterns for Mind Independent and Free and 7 Sheep I've shown before, so I'm not showing them this time. And I use the called for Avera Soie. You can do it in Avera Soie, NPI, or DMC. Now, Avera Soie comes in different forms. I like the Soie d'Alger that's in the skein. I'll show you some here in a minute on the next project I'm working on. It also comes in the 103, which is on a spool. So the 103 is finer or thinner strands than the Avera Soie d'Alger. So anyway, Mary Good, finished. Yes, I'd love to send all these away to framing, but I have pocketbook restraints. So anyway, that's Mary Good. So that's my 3 samplers. So beings, I finished that on Tuesday and had 3 more days of September. I was not gonna let those go to waste. I had to start working on another sampler. I say start because I didn't start this Wednesday, but I picked up something that I didn't have a lot of, I hadn't done a lot of work on it. And that is Jane Atkinson. This is by the Scarlet Letter. Sorry for the reflection. I love this sampler. This sampler will be 14.5 by 23 inches on 40 count linen. So it's not a baby and it's not a small. Has a lot of over one. I'm looking at this as a long-term project. But you know what? I'm just addicted to working on it. This is the kind of stitching I love to do. And I'll show you in a minute what I mean. But it's like you outline and then you fill in, and then you outline and then you fill in. So it's very similar to, if you follow Quirks and Stitches, Jen, she just finished Peacock Unicorn and Badger Peacock Unicorn. That's also by the Scarlet Letter. I don't know what order those animals are in the title. But anyway, it's a full coverage piece and it's very similar. In fact, I want to start that. I think Kitten Stitcher's working on it too. Teresa. Anyway, so this is Jane Atkinson. I love this. This is 1780 and I love that style. There's a lot of ones that are similar with these bold colors, and now to me this isn't bright, but it's kind of bold. So I'm stitching this on 40 count lent. I don't know if it's vintage lentil or just lentil by Lakeside Linens. I had this fat half because being it's 23, I had to use fat half. So here's my progress on that so far. And you can see what I mean here, where I'm stitching. I'm stitching the middle flower. I call it the brain. See that middle flower? Doesn't that look like a brain? Yes, it does look like a brain, Carol. So I've stitched here and I'm coming across and I'm working on the brain, AKA the flower in the middle. You see that? And I just love this kind of stitching. I love it. See here, I have this big leaf, and I started filling a little bit of the gold. But I decided, you know, if I'm sitting in my chair at night and I have a lot of ability to concentrate, I don't have a lot of outside distractions because I sit in my padded room. My daughter calls it my padded room because the whole room has so much fabric that she, oh, are you in your padded room, Mom? Yes. I am prisoner, my own prisoner in my padded room. Anyway, when I'm able to concentrate with very little distraction, then it's easy to, not easy, but you know, I can count and get the up 3, down 2, over 1, you know, that kind of thing. And then times when I'm a little more distracted, I can just do fill in. So at some point, this gold, I'll just do fill in. Love it, love it, love it. And for that, I'm using also, I think I said, the Aversois silks. And some of these are brighter, bolder colors. There's those pinky corals are pretty bright. But I'm really enjoying this. Now, obviously, last night I kind of cheated because it was October, but I kept stitching on it. And I really want to work on some fall things. I may stitch on Jane Atkinson through the weekend. And then Monday, bite the bullet and go back to fall. I love fall, so it's not like it's a problem. But if I'm in the middle of a sampler, to stop and then go to something fallish, which, by the way, I finally got out a few of my decorations. They were in my hall closet because we don't have basements. Duh. They'd be full of water if we did, because this is sandy, very sandy soil here. Anyway, so I was getting my Halloween out of a closet in the hallway. And of course, Christmas is on the front of the area because Halloween, and then I put it away, and then I get out Christmas, and then I put Christmas away. So I had to take a bunch, I gotta come up with a better solution. I had to take a bunch of Christmas out in order to get to my fall and Halloween stuff, but I put out a few things. I don't know where I got all these. This is one of my favorite. I bought this last year. It may have been Under the Woolen Willow that made these. They're chenille, orange chenille, pumpkins, jack-o'-lanterns, whatever you want to call them. And then of the ones you can see, this one is Boo to You. That's by Brenda Gervais. I don't know if you can see it. Everything is like precarious. The next one is a JBW Designs. My friend made that for me. It's a pumpkin. And you probably can't see the other two. The other one is October 31st. Yeah, you can't see those. And then a Scarlet House, Hello Fall. Anyway, from samplers. My train of thought is kind of all over the place today. So, sorry. Anyway, good thing this isn't going to be a long video because I might be jumping all over the place. Anyway, Jane Atkinson, Scarlet Letter. The other thing nice about Scarlet Letter, you can buy them kitted or you can buy them just the chart. And she ships really quickly. The other people that carry a lot of Scarlet Letter, Victorian Rose Needle Arts, Kitten Stitcher has some, and The Attic. So if you're looking for any of the Scarlet Letter, you know, you've got options as to where to get it. And your local needlework store may have them. I don't know. Or could order them for you. And then as far as, I wanted to, Penny Tucker is hosting a sale for Laura's big birthday. It's called Laura's Big Birthday Sale. And this is, while we're talking about Scarlet Letter, Elizabeth Isles. I think I showed this at some point when I got the chart as part of my haul. So this is going to start on January 1st, Laura's birthday. This is the one that has the angels in the border. I call it Angels in the Outfield. I love that movie. Anyway, Angels in the Outfield. I think Brenda said she's just going to do the bird. I'm not sure what I want to do. I'm not sure if let's see. The verse is not over 1. It's over 2. So, I may want to do it all. I don't know. It's just an interesting sampler with all those, the border angels. Elizabeth Isles, $17.99. Laura's Big Birthday Sale. Go to Penny Tucker or Penelope. I think it's Penny Tucker on Instagram. You can find the hashtag. She just announced it so that everybody has time to get the chart. You can stitch it in DMC. You can stitch it in the Veriswale. Let's see what else it might call for now that I put it back in the package. I wish September was actually like 2 months. Anyway, it's 224 by 270. On 40 count, it's 11 by 13.5, so it would fit on a fat quarter. Even on 35 or 36 count, it's gonna fit on a fat quarter. It calls for either DMC or a Veriswale silks. So, there you go. If you wanna join in, Laura of Brendan the Serial Starter, her birthday's January 1st. It's her big birthday, although it's not as big as my birthday was, but it's Laura's Big Birthday Sale. And speaking of samplers, if I was gonna continue working on samplers, this would be the next one. Obviously it's a Scarlet Letter too. This is a whip, and this would be the next one that I would keep going on. And there again, I have it kitted with silks. It's all greens and yellows except for that one red. And, hold please. Somebody said that I was the first one they'd heard say hold please. I believe the credit goes to Stephanie of Pam and Steph. Just keep stitching. Teresa Kitten Stitcher finished this. I have the border finished. And I'm doing some bands, and then the rest, a lot of this is alphabets, 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 except for a little bit here of motifs. Got a lot of ring light showing through. Anyway, so if I was going to continue on samplers, that would be one that I would work on, but I'm going to put that on hold because I have a lot of fall things that I want to stitch, and I have whips that I need to finish. So this is the first one. This is Prairie Schooler. A lot of people have finished this. This is called When Witches Go Riding. I like this one too. This makes really cute little ornaments. And I'm using DMC for this one. Your very basic, beautiful fall colors. I don't have a lot finished, but I have some. And I'm doing this on Picture This Plus. It's either Heartland or Legacy, but it's just a neutral. So that's, oops, let's see if I can get it better. So that's where I am on that. And You know, there's some solid stitching up here at the top, but it's the house and all this, so I think it'll go fairly fast. I believe this is what I'm going to work on this evening, because I only stitch at night. I think I've told most of you that. I rarely stitch during the day. Once in a while on a weekend, I'll stitch during the day, but if I have daytime hours where I'm not quilting, which, by the way, I've done 9 quilts this week, and I still have 12 in there to go, but I'm not even going to talk about that. If I have daytime hours, I sit down and piece a quilt. I don't usually stitch. Or I take a nap. And I'm allowed to, because I'm 70. So anyway, that's one of the fall ones. Here's another fall whip. Oh, I have this one kitted with NPIs. Oh, I didn't realize I had this one kitted with NPIs. I've shown you this one before. I think some people have this as a unicorn. This is from Exemplar from the Heart, Vilma Becklin. She's the same person, I believe, that did And They Sin, but I could be wrong. And this is called Pumpkin Season. Says, scary, friendly, sweet, and silly, all these pumpkins are a dilly. And I love this. I mean, this is just right up my alley. Some quilt blocks. I don't know if you could find this. I mean, there's always eBay. I got such a kick out of Barb of Blackbird one time when we were at a retreat. And somebody had asked her where they get most of their samplers that provide their inspiration for their designs. And she said, okay, write this all down. Everybody ready? Got a pencil and paper? E, B, A, Y. Of course, everybody cracked up because it's like, everybody thought it was going to be some secret website where you can buy antique samplers. So this is all the further I am on this. I usually do the border first, but I think I was needing to do some, and there's a lot of house. There's a lot of, and I have no idea. This is a mystery linen. I think it's 40 count, but anyway, I have a start. This is good fill-in stuff too. And I really do like this, so I really would like to get back to that. So these are some of the fall things that I'm planning on stitching during October. And then the next one, and some of these I will take with me on the next retreat. It's kind of a sin how I wrinkle all my stuff. This is a piece of 36 count sand dune by Lakeside. And this is by the Work Basket, called Quaker Crow. I love the stand-up. I think that's really cool. You know, I find so many times when I put stuff out, it has to lean against something. Or if it can independently stand, because it has a flat bottom, then you can kind of put it anywhere. And this is how far I am on this. It's a lot of solid stitching, but I just love all this Quaker in the middle here. So I think I'm through some of the solid stitching where I can get into some of this fun. So that's another one. And that, I told you I'm doing on sand dune, and I'm using a black floss, a Vera Swan Noir. I just had this. I don't know why I had just an extra pack, but I did. So, and then that was at the time a lot of, I think I was out of 310, or I would have used the DMC. It's not like that really needs silk. Oops, oh well. Now, as far as fall things, if I would finish all of those during October, and since I'm going on a retreat to the Amana colonies, and yes, that's spilled coffee, lipstick, all that stuff. And that is the fall cross-stitch retreat, the Midwest fall cross-stitch retreat that Michelle Rudy puts on. I will be gone the 14th through the 17th, I think. Really looking forward to it. There's going to be a lot of people there that are friends and that I get to see and haven't seen for a while, or get to see again since I just saw them at the Midwest Extravaganza in Kansas City. But anyway, long story short, I think some of that fill-in, because at that retreat, you have a good 2.5 days to just stitch. Now, Brenda Gervais is the featured designer, so she will probably have some sort of a presentation and a project on Saturday. But Thursday afternoon, I think the stitching room opens at noon, and then you have Thursday and Friday, and I think the stitching room's open until like 9 or 10 at night. So you actually could get stitching done. Now, there's also a lot of antique stores. There's a lot to see. The Woolen Needle is like 30 minutes away, which is a great shop. So there's other things you can get up and do, but if you really want to sit and stitch, all that fill-in kind of stitching is perfecto for that. Perfecto. That's my new word, perfecto. Another word that I would really like to make one of my new words is wowza. I was watching Lisa Prims on Greenway yesterday, and I love the way she says wowza. Now, her daughter, she says out of this world too many times, but I think she says all of those just the right amount. Wowza, out of this world. She is so expressive, and I love it. Anyway, the next thing, let me see here. Hold, please. I am going to show you, and I have this on my, I have this particular, I downloaded it. If you go to Homespun Prims by Lori on Instagram, this is her latest. I put it in the drop-down box on the last video, number 53. It's called Harvest, I Grow. So it's on my phone, and I have, I haven't picked out a linen yet, but I have the DMCs picked out. And then I would love to start just a few of these little smalls. This is Brenda Gervais, Jack-O-Lantern Jubilee. And I have the piece of Brenda's Brew. And it calls for DMC and some fancy floss. A lot of them are very common colors. Oscar, Onyx, Gold Leaf, Fragrant Clothes. So I think I have a lot of those, and I can always substitute. I would love to do these. Now, time being of the essence, once it's like October 25th, especially since I'm behind in FFO, fully finishing, I probably won't be starting Halloween. I don't know. In November, I'm going to work back on a couple samplers. Hannah Tingy is one that I didn't get it out, but it's by the Scarlet House. It's the one that has the reindeer with the big eyes. I think I showed it on a couple videos ago. But this is one that I really want to do, and a lot of people have done this. It's by Not Forgotten Farm. It's the Reverend Gordon Squash Bottom. I'm doing this in DMC that I haven't put on drops yet. My granddaughter, we went to Michael's. I picked her up from school. We went to Michael's. And then she helped me pick these out. I'd say, okay, find number this, find number that. Sometimes I'd find it before her, and I'd be like, well, look down this row. I have a piece of 36 count vintage homespun. I'm pretty sure this is R&R. I got it from the Heart's Desire in Wichita quite a while ago. But I think that would be fine. Wonderful for the Reverend. I especially want something that the White House is going to show up and that his breeches don't get faded into. So I think we'll be okay on that. So that may be something I start. I'm trying to get my whips down, but if like I would finish the Quaker Crow or the Prairie Schooler, I might want to start this. And this is in one of the wonderful bags that Deidre Ron gave me. Thank you very much. The other one that I'm wanting to start is Turkey Hollow Farm. This is by Stacy Nash. I would love to start this, but I certainly wouldn't get it finished. And this is another one of hers that has those fabulous borders, like the Holly Berry Farm series. I have that kitted. I got this kitted from, I believe, Country Sampler. And then the other thing that I've just been thinking about, this time of year I start thinking about, okay, now I don't know what this goes with. Pumpkin season. Okay, that's the ones with the houses. I started thinking about Christmas stitching, and I have a lot of Christmas smalls, and I really don't, you know, I have this area. My dining room table has boxes that my husband's making, and my kitchen table has other stuff on it. And I have a few other cabinets and stuff, but I just don't have a lot of place to display smalls. I do have some in my actual sewing room, not my long arm room. I mean, I could tuck them in all kinds of places, but I'm not really good at that. That's why I don't do a tour of my house. I'm not really good at, you know, if you want to see wonderful decorating, go to Daisy K's Primitives and look at her fall house display. She does colonial primitive, and it's fabulous. How I got off on that, I have no idea. Are you following me? Anyway, I started thinking about Christmas stitching. This is one I have wanted to do for years. This is O Tannenbaum by Brenda Gervais with Thy Needle and Thread. My daughter stitched this, made the box. Not my daughter. My sister stitched this, made the box. Not made the box, but stained the box, stitched all of it, and gave it to my daughter one year for Christmas. So every year at Christmas time, I go to my daughter's house and I see this, and I think, I need to finish this for myself. So these are basically smalls, and this is another option for taking to Amana if I decide I want to, you know, work on like this Santa. I think this is still pretty readily available. I don't have the linen in here, but I think it uses Picture This Plus Legacy, and I do have some of that. I think it's 36 count, and I have the box. And I have the floss. So that's a maybe baby as far as what to do for some Christmas stitching. The next one, and I got this one a couple of years ago at Country Sampler, and I bought the sleigh. This is by Stacy Nash. It's called Stella's Sleigh. No, it isn't. It's by Chessie and me. It's called Stella's Sleigh Ride, and there's the wooden sleigh. And then you make a scissor fob, but the piece, it's not a lot of I mean, it's not a big piece. It's 63 by 89, so it's not huge. And then the little needle book and the scissor fob are also not very big. So since I have the sleigh, there's really no excuse, especially since I originally got it kitted at Country Sampler. It has a piece of black wool in the kit, and then it's kitted with, I'm not sure, you can barely see the linen, and then this wool that goes on the back, so you make it like a mat. So that's something I've kind of been thinking about. And then I get these kits and I just file them. What is my deal? Anyway, this one, a lot of people have done this recently. This is one that Alma, when she brought out past finishes and kind of a little trunk show, this was one. And this, I'm not sure what book this is in. I originally got it as a club kit. It's called Merry Christmas, and it's by Blackbird Designs, and it's a pin drum, but it's one of those short, fat ones. Red House. It has more stitching than you think. Some of these Blackbird ones are kind of, they trick you because there's a lot more stitching than you think. In the same vein, I also have a kit for this Roses and Ivy. And I know this is in a book too, but I don't know which book. But this was originally a kit, also by Blackbird. A drum for Christmas or any time of the year you want to put this out, because it could easily be all year. And then maybe a year or so, Brenda finished this. I'm pretty sure Brenda finished this one of Brenda and the Cereal Starter. And that is Gathering the Greens by Stacy Nash. I love this. It calls for Confederate, 35 count Confederate gray. And it uses wait a minute. Yeah, weeks threads, all weeks threads. And again, I got that kitted. So I'd really like to at least start this, and then if I have to finish it next year, so be it. So I have it kitted with all the called for. So that one is Gathering the Greens. Okay, that's all the stitching I'm going to show. I'm going to show you a few things I got in the mail. I didn't get much haul. Well, I got some things for my long arm, needles, oil. I'm sure you don't want to see like 100 needles for my long arm, but a good friend of mine makes these, and she's just very talented. Let me get this arranged the way it should be. She makes these, and she made me one for my birthday. Put my initials. Floss rings, birthday greetings. Isn't that cute? I got that. I got some floss drop cards. I thought my husband had ordered mine, but I don't think he did. So I need to get a picture. And then DMC, these are from Deidre Ron. These are adorable. I should use these for one of my DMC projects. That Not Forgotten Farm one, that would be cute. And she makes these. Did I say that? She makes these woolen embroidered eggs. Fabulous. And then I got my traditional stitches. I'm in their Lakeside Club. I got a piece of 40 count Meadow Rue, a fat quarter. Very nice. Love it. That club is kind of a little bit hit and miss because Lakeside's hard to get. So I don't necessarily get it every month. This is the card that Deidre sent with her floss cards. That is all my haul and all my stitching for now. So I'm going to show you, I'm not going to show you any pictures of quilts, but I'm going to show you a few things that I'm working on. If I can pick them up without dropping. So I have 2 fall quilts that I'm working on. I found this, I have this kitted. I may change some of the fabrics because it's a little bright for me, but I've had this kitted for quite some time. This is Dressed to the Nines by Bloomin' Minds. I don't know, this came out a while ago. I don't know if that'd be available or not. I didn't bring out the fabric because I don't know that I'm going to use all that, the fabric that was in the kit. The next one I've been working on is Corn Maze. This is a kit from Country Sampler. basket knot. Tammy has it finished on her table. And I may work on this today. I have a lot of the rectangles finished. Also have threads hanging out. I went ahead and sewed a couple rows together, which I like to do to just get a feel. I picked my own fabrics, but I think Tammy was from the kit. And then I ordered the same fabric for the border. I'll probably go this way. So I have most of the squares or the rectangles like this finished. I just need to sew them together in rows. And if you'll notice, it's like these go one way, these go the opposite, these go the same as this, and these go the same as this. It's just a fun little table topper. I think it's, yeah, 57 by 57. It's very easy. It's just doing it. Because you make a lot of these. So that's the size. 2 more rows, and then that times 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's how big it is. So I have that, and then I have all of the hand applique finished on the Blackbird one. This is their Halloween 1904 quilt. Just this, that's all that's in this book. Halloween 1904. This is, I have all of the stars hand appliqued. So I just need to sew things together. It's not as bright as it looks. So, okay, let me see if I can show it here. So for example, you sew 4 of the stars together, oranges, and then you put an orange corners on. And some of them are orange with black corners, and some of them are black with orange corners, and some of them are mixed with orange corners. I do still need to applique the pumpkin and the one that has the moon. I don't think I'm going to do this piano keyboarder. I don't think. Because I don't really want it this big. I may just do a small black border. I don't like to end a quilt on half square triangles if I can avoid it. Because it's easy to cut those off when you're binding it, and I don't want to do that. What I could do is do a wide binding. I like wide bindings, so you see, like, instead of seeing like a 1/4 of an inch binding, you see like an inch. I might do that. So I have those. So those are my fall pieces. So here's one of the blocks. So you see my oranges, a lot of them are rust. And those are the half square triangles that go on the edge. And here's more of my half square triangles just waiting to be sewn together. And that to me could be fall. That, you know, it's got a pumpkin, but it's not like it's Halloween-ish per se. So I have them all grouped together. I just need to sit down and sew them all. And then I was going through some stuff, and I knew I had this. It's just a matter of getting it out and working on it. So let me see if I can show you a picture. There used to be a shop in Kansas City that was very primitive. It has since closed years ago. It was called Rustic Yearnings when we lived in Kansas City. And even when I went back to visit, I always made sure I went there. It was just a really neat, primitive shop. And they had this block of the month. I found one picture. I searched for probably half an hour. I found one picture of it on Pinterest. It's called I Believe, and it's a block of the month. And of course I dropped my picture. Hold on just a second. There was not even a picture with, because this was ongoing. So it was a block of the month that they were working on. So the kits were available. And all of the kits are very primitive colors. My dark and dirty. Primitive Colors in Block of the Month. And this is what it looks like in the darker colors. And this is even way brighter. This was my picture I took. It has like a star, heart. No, it's hearts and holly. No, berries and holly border that I'm not sure I'm going to do. I might just do a plain border. But it's got an angel, it's got a stocking. So this is the block 1. But the blocks just came, you know, like this, the packets. But I do have the fabrics. Now, some of them I might change out because this is from early 2000s. So I may change some of them out, but here's a couple more pictures. Like I said, this is before camera phones. But I took pictures, you know, so it would help me know what fabric would go where. This makes it look very yellow. It's not near that yellow, or it wasn't. So if anybody out there made this quilt and did it in these darker colors from kits from Rustic Yearnings, send me a picture through a direct message, Saltbox Stitcher on Instagram. So that is on my radar. I'd like to at least start one of the blocks or a couple of them. This is block number 2, the kisses and the peppermints. And this is block number 3, which is the heart with the holly. So I got that out and I thought, you know, I need to at least start this. And the backgrounds are pieced. So it's not like it's all hand applique, which I want to do it hand applique. That's my problem. My problem is I like to do a lot of things hand applique. 47 minutes. Told you it's gonna be short, and it's not. One more thing, and then I'm gonna let you go. This is a pattern that I started not years ago, a couple years ago. This is by, helps if I hold it up the right way. Yes, this is by Primitives by Linda. This is Santa Jack. I've seen this made. It's not orange, it's red. This is a terrible picture. So I have one block finished, and I have a lot of parts. Even that looks orange, and it's not, it's red. I have a lot of parts finished, and this actually goes on point, so it'll be in the quilt like this. So in other words, I have like a lot of these made. I have blocks like this made. I have some blocks like this made. It's just a matter of putting it all together, or, you know, finishing up some of the blocks first. So in other words, the block goes like this. If you think of, you can kind of see the block. So the pinwheel, just 1/2 of it is on each block. I don't know if she's still around. She used to come into the quilts. She's from Orlando. If you follow Carol Crago, Carol Crago used to have a quilt store years ago, and it was very primitive. It was called the Good Home Quilt Shop. Loved it. I only went there once. It was small, but it was just jam-packed with wonderful goodiness. Is that a word? And that's where I saw this made. And then Linda, who was Primitives by Linda, she used to come into Jacksonville and come to our store. In fact, I actually quilted a few of her quilts when I worked at the store. She originally used to hand quilt everything, and then she got to where she was like, let's just machine. So I actually had quilted a few of hers. I have a lot of her patterns. I think she still has a website, Primitives by Linda, and it's Lynda. I don't know if you got that. If you like primitive quilts. So I need to at least piece on some of those. I know I won't finish them this year, but they're fun to like get out and work around, you know, the season that it's for. Does that make sense? You're not supposed to end a sentence with a preposition. So it's fun to work on them during Christmas if they're Christmas quilts. And then hopefully by a year or 2 years, I'll get them done. So anyway, that is all I have. 49 minutes. I did not mean to go that long. There won't be any pictures inserted. Nothing. I'm just going to let my husband just upload it and go. So hope you all are having a good start to October. I hope you're getting some cooler weather. I will not be here in 2 weeks because I'll be at my retreat. So hopefully middle of the week, maybe when I get back, I can do a video. We'll see. So I hope you all are doing well, and I will see you when I see you. Thanks. Love you. Bye.